सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दैताय कृपाप्तये कृष्ण संबंध विख्यान तायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुरी ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ति तारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत ध्वांतहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बर सांबोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंदनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुकवराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमि स्वं निर्दिष्टा सचना प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्नि गौरक्षे नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यां नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सुरतो पंगोर्मम मंदेर्मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ श्री राधा मदन मोहनौ दिव्यवृंदारण्यं कल्पाद्रुमाधः श्रीमद्रत्नाकर सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा क्षीरगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभिः सेव्यमानः स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटतरसितः कर्षन् वेणुसने गोपीर्गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्वना तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत पदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। 12th verse onwards, where Arjuna desires to know vibhuti of Krishna, opulence of Krishna. Already Krishna has spoken about many opulences. Now in 10th chapter, more elaborate explanation about the opulence of the Lord has been spoken. So yesterday we did Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. We started with Aham Sarvasya Prabho Matta Sarvan Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samanditaha Machchitta Mattata Prana Bodhayantah Paraspara Kathayantascha Mamnityam Dusyanti Cha Ramanti Cha Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Ye Jana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhyuktaram Yokakshemam Vaham. No, sorry. This is Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantascha Vayam. No, Tesham Satati Uktanam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yokam Tam Yenumamu Payanti Te Tesham Evanu Kampartham Aham Agyana Chamtama Nashayam Yatva Bhavasto Gyana Deepena Paspa. These 4 verses, very important verses. These are the Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita. This is a summon bonum of whole Bhagavad Gita. Now 9th chapter, 10th chapter, 12th and 13th verse, where Arjuna says, Arjuna Vacha Param Dhama Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Purusham Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhu Ahustvam Rushayas Sarve Devarshirnaradastata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Chaiva Braveshi Me Arjuna Vacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rushayas Sarve Devarshirnaradastata Asito Devalo Vyasah Swayam Chaiva Bravishi Me. Krishna says, you are Param Brahma. You are the Supreme Person. Param Brahma. Param Dhama. Your abode is transcendental, and that is the ultimate, supreme, param dhama, pavitram. You are the purest, paramam bhavan. You are the supreme personality of Godhead, Purusham. Paramam bhavan. You are the supreme, paramam bhavan. Bhavan means yourself. You are the supreme, Purusham. You are the supreme personality of Godhead. Personality, Purusham. You are the Purusha. And then Shashvatam. You are always eternal. Shashvatam Dityam. You are transcendental. Adi Devam. You are the original Lord, or you are the origin of all the devatas. But here Adi Devam refers to you are the original Lord. Adi Devam Ajam. You are unborn. Vibhum. Vibhum. You are the greatest. Vibhu. Anu means minute. Vibhu, infinite. Ahustvam. Ahu. Who is saying about you? Ahustvam. About you. The rishis also speak. They also say these things. Whatever I am speaking, that has been spoken by the rishis also. They are also describing you like this. Risheha Sarve. All the rishis are also speaking like this. Devarshi Narada. Devarishi Narada is a sage among the Devarishi is a sage among the demigods. Who? Narada. Devarishi Narada. He is also speaking the same thing. Asitaha. So sage Asita is also speaking the same thing. Devala is also speaking. Vyasa is also speaking. And now you yourself are explaining the same thing to me. I have heard this from Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Narada, everyone. Now you are declaring the same truth, that you are Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam, Bhavan. Bhavan means yourself, then Purusham, then Shashvatam, Dityam, Adidevam, Ajam, Vibhum. All these qualities I have heard from different sages. I have heard from Narada, Asitaha, Devalaha, Vyasa. I have heard from everyone about these wonderful qualities of yours. And now you yourself are declaring it to me. Okay. Narayan will read. Who's going to read? Narayan can read.
Yes, I can read.
Today our Naina Manjari is admitted in hospital. He's reading from there. She has got dengue.
Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishayas Sarve Devarshir Naradastatha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishi Me.
Read the translation.
Arjuna said, "You are the supreme personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the great sages, such as Narada, Asita, Devala, and Vyasa, confirm this truth about you. And now you yourself are declaring it to me." Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In these two verses, the Supreme Lord gives a chance to the modern philosopher, for here it is clear that the Supreme is different from the individual soul. Arjuna, after hearing the essential 4 verses of Bhagavad Gita, that is 10.8 to 11, in this chapter, became completely free from all doubts and accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He at once boldly declares, "You are Param Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead." And previously, Krishna stated that he is the originator of everything and everyone. Every demigod and every human being is dependent on him. Men and demigods, out of ignorance, think that they are absolute and independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That ignorance is removed perfectly by the discharge of devotional service. This has already been explained in the previous verse by the Lord. Now, by His grace, Arjuna is accepting him as the supreme truth, in concordance with the Vedic injunction. It is not that because Krishna is Arjuna's intimate friend, Arjuna is flattering him by calling him the supreme personality of Godhead, the absolute truth. Whatever Arjuna says in these two verses is confirmed by Vedic truth. Vedic injunctions affirm that only one who takes to devotional service to the Supreme Lord can understand him, whereas others cannot. Each and every word of this verse spoken by Arjuna is confirmed by Vedic injunction. In the Kena Upanishad, it is stated that the Supreme Brahman is the rest for everything. And Krishna has already explained that everything is resting on him. The Mundaka Upanishad confirms that the Supreme Lord, in whom everything is resting, can be realized only by those who engage constantly in thinking of him. This constant thinking of Krishna is Smarana, one of the methods of devotional service. It is only by devotional service to Krishna that one can understand his position and get rid of his material body. In the Vedas, the Supreme Lord is accepted as the purest of the pure. One who understands that Krishna is the purest of the pure can become purified from all sinful reactions. One cannot be disinfected from sinful activities unless he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. Arjuna's acceptance of Krishna as the Supreme Pure complies with the injunctions of Vedic literature. This is also confirmed by great personalities, of whom Narada is the chief. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and one should always meditate upon him and enjoy one's transcendental relationship with him. He is the supreme existence. He is free from bodily needs, birth, and death. Not only does Arjuna confirm this, but all the Vedic literatures, the Puranas and histories. In all Vedic literatures, Krishna is thus described, and the Supreme Lord himself also says in the fourth chapter, although I am unborn, I appear on this earth to establish religious principles. He is the supreme origin. He has no cause, for he is the cause of all causes, and everything is emanating from him. This perfect knowledge can be had by the grace of the Supreme Lord. Here Arjuna expresses himself through the grace of Krishna. If we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should accept the statements in these two verses. This is called the Parampara system, acceptance of the disciplic succession. Unless one is in the disciplic succession, he cannot understand Bhagavad Gita. It is not possible by so-called academic education. Unfortunately, those proud of their academic education, despite of so much evidence in Vedic literature, stick to their obstinate conviction that Krishna is an ordinary person.
Okay. Krishna is the supreme abode. That means he is giving shelter for everyone. He is a shelter of all things. He is a Param Dhama, means he is the shelter of all things. Paravam Pavitram. That means he has the capacity to destroy the sins of everyone. Just by remembering him, the sins can be completely eradicated. That is Paramam Pavitram. Pavitram Paramam. To know him, it requires his mercy. That means here Arjuna says that it is not so easy to know Krishna. Only Krishna knows about himself. But still, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Narada, they could know him just because of his mercy. So that is why Srila Prabhupada says to know him, one has to attain the mercy of the disciplic succession. Only through disciplic succession, one can understand Krishna. Now, Krishna is describing about himself. So Arjuna is asking that you please describe about yourself. Now again he says, Sarvametat Vritam Manye Yanmam Vadasi Keshava Naite Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidurdevana Danavaha Sarvametat Vritam Manye Yanmam Vadasi Keshava Naite Bhagavan Vyaktim Vidurdevana Danavaha Nahite Bhagavan Vyaktim. To know his personality, that means to know his qualities, Bhagavan Vyaktim. Vyakti means to know about him. It is not so easy. Even Vidur Deva na Danavaha. Vidur means no. Even Devatas don't know. They don't know him. Even Danavas don't know. That means demons also cannot know him. Whatever you say, Krishna, Sarvam etat rutam manye. Rutam. Rutam means truth. Sarvam etat rutam manye. I accept. Manye means I accept. Whatever you say, I just accept. This is called surrenderance. So surrenderance means just accept whatever the spiritual master says. Now, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he used to deliver lectures, many used to ask many questions. But Srila Prabhupada used to ask only one question. Oh Prabhupada, how best I can serve you? When Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was addressed as Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada used to say to his guru, just tell me how best I can serve you. Beyond that, Prabhupada never had any doubts. And he was so completely surrendered to his spiritual master that whatever spiritual master said, that is true. Go to West and preach. He'll be successful, was accepted as truth. Never even gave any thought process for that. Oh, how will I go with 40 rupees in my hand? Oh, what will happen? 2 attacks already have happened in the ship. Am I going to be successful or not? I don't know anybody over there. This my guru doesn't have any brains. Like this only is sending me or what? And no tark with that. No doubt at all. Yes, my guru has told to go to West and preach. I have to do that. So that is called surrenders. And here Arjuna now says, before that Arjuna was arguing so much. And now Arjuna says, yes, whatever you say, I'll accept it as truth. Before that, you see how many arguments did he place? Guru Nahatva Himahanubhavan. How can I kill my own guru? You are asking me to kill my guru. So, if you see in the first chapter, and practically till the 7th verse of the 2nd chapter, there were many arguments, many logics put forward before Krishna. He's not allowing Krishna to speak. So many arguments, so many logics were put. But then he surrendered. After surrendering also, he says, I want to listen. After listening also, so many arguments, so many doubts were rising. Was not able to understand the meaning of work in devotion and work done as a sacrifice. Was not understanding anything. So now he says, whatever you say, Krishna, I accept it as truth. Sarvameta tritam manye yanmam vadasi Keshava. Keshava, Ka, Isha. Ka means Brahma. Sha, Isha means Shiva. Va means Vadati, or Va also means you bind, Vayase. Vayase. So you bind even Brahma and Shiva. Even Brahma and Shiva cannot understand you. Here it is said, Vidur Devana Danava. Not only Devatas and Danavas can understand you, but no, they cannot understand you. Even Brahma and Shiva also cannot understand you. You bind them also in ignorance, if you see. If you don't know about Krishna, that means we are in ignorance. Even they cannot understand. Even Krishna binds Brahma and Shiva by hiding from them the knowledge of his own self. That is why here, if you see the first verse of Bhagavatam begins, Janma daseton vayadi tartacharti shabikya surat, tene brahma hridayadi kaviye muhyanti yat suryaha. Muhyanti means Krishna intentionally keeps even the demigods in illusion, including Brahma. Even Brahma is in illusion. Regarding what? Regarding the sweetness of Krishna. Though the opulence of Krishna is known to Brahma, but sweetness of Krishna is hidden from Brahma. So to know Krishna in his true form, what is his true form? It's not so easy. Even Devatas don't know. Brahma and Shiva, who are his qualitative expansions, even they don't know. What to speak of then Rakshasas knowing him? They can never know him. But even though I may try to know you, it's very difficult, Arjuna says. That is why whatever you say, I just accept it as truth. Then Swayam Eva, no, you have to read, na? Okay, Ashok Anisha Prabhu, read the verse.
Hare Krishna. Sarvametadritam manye yanmam vadasi keshava nahi te bhagwan vyaktim vidurdevana danava. Translation. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the demigods nor the demons, O Lord, can understand your personality. Purport. Arjun herein confirms that persons of faithless and dominant nature cannot understand Krishna. He is not known even by the demigods. So what to speak of the so-called scholars of this modern world? By the grace of the Supreme Lord, Arjuna has understood that the supreme truth is Krishna and that he is the perfect one. One should therefore follow the path of Arjuna. He received the authority of Bhagavad Gita. As described in the 4th chapter, the parampara system of disciplic succession for the understanding of Bhagavad Gita was lost, and therefore Krishna re-established that disciplic succession with Arjuna because he considered Arjuna his intimate friend and a great devotee. Therefore, as stated in our introduction to Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita should be understood as the parampara system. When the parampara system was lost, Arjuna was selected to rejuvenate it. The acceptance by Arjuna of all that Krishna says should be emulated. Then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only can we understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, you're in mute. You're on mute.
Okay. So there is a verse. Yeah. There is a verse in Katha Upanishad which says, Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyas. By Pravachan, one can never understand Krishna. It's not so easy to understand Krishna just by Pravachan. Okay, I may be speaking whole day, whole night. It's not so easy to understand Krishna. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyas. Na Medhaya na Bhavna Shrutena. By my intelligence, I can never understand Krishna. Na Medhaya, na Bhavna Shrutena. Whole day I may be sitting and hearing the lectures. It's not so easy to understand Krishna. Yameva Isha Vrunute Tena Labhyas. This knowledge is Vrunute. Vrunute means very concealed. It is not so easy. Only when Krishna gives, Labhyas. Labhyas means when he gives, Tasyesh Atma Vrunute Tanuswam. That time he himself gives. He has to give that knowledge. If he gives, his mercy is there, then only we can understand. Okay, we may write exams, we may memorize the shlokas, everything fine. But this knowledge is a concealed knowledge. Yameva Isha. Yameva Isha Vrunute Tena Labhyas. Tasyesh Atma Vrunute Tanuswam. Tanuswam means he himself will speak about him. It is his will to make a person know him. It is not so easy. The same thing has been spoken here. Only Krishna knows about himself. To whoever he chooses, he may give this knowledge. स्वयं एवात्मनात्मानं वेत्तत्वं पुरुषोत्तम भूतभावन भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते स्वयं एवात्मनात्मानं वेत्तत्वं पुरुषोत्तम भूतभावन भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते. Only you yourself, swayam atmana. By yourself, atmana. That means you yourself know vetha about you. By yourself, you know yourself. That means you know who Krishna is known by whom. Answer is Krishna is known by himself only. Only he knows about himself. You are the Purusha Uttama. Purusha Uttama. You are the greatest of all the persons. Purusha Uttama. Bhuta Bhavana. Bhuta Bhavana. You are the origin of everything. Bhuta Bhavana. Bhuta Isha. Bhuta. Bhuta means you are the Lord of everything. Bhuta Isha. Bhuta means everything. Jivatma, everything includes. You are the Lord of everything. You are Deva Deva. You are the Lord of all demigods. Jagatpate. You are the Lord of the entire universe. So these things only you yourself know. We can glorify you, but what you like, what is your taste, how you create everything, how you are approachable, how you are controlling everything. It is not so easy just by some pravachan or by our intelligence or by hearing. It's not so easy to comprehend about Krishna. It's not so easy. What is the maximum we can do? Chant the holy name and be happy. Prabhupada says, chant and be happy. Don't try to research out. If we try to research out with our tiny brains, we cannot. So that is why leave it to Krishna. Whenever he wants to reveal, he will reveal. Jnanis, they try to search out. Yogis also try to search out. Bhaktas wait. Tattenu kampartam susamiksha mano. Waiting for the mercy of Krishna. This verse is very important. Tattenu kampartam susamiksha mano. Hridvag vapurbit vidadan namaste. Just with their body, mind, and activities, they are just performing whatever work has been given. They are just performing that. They are performing the devotional service. Hridvag vapurbit vidadan namaste. Jiveta yo mukti pade sadaiva. They are eligible to get this mercy of Krishna. So one should not demand or command. One should just wait. So very clearly here Arjuna says, see, even I cannot know about you anything. That is why I'll just accept whatever you say. But you know, what you know, that you are Bhuta Bhavana, you are Bhutesha, you are Deva Deva Jagatpati. So you are the creator, you are the Lord. I, with my tiny brain, can never understand. So that is why, what is the best thing I can do? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. So instead of speculating so many things, better is just chant. Prabhupada says, chant and be happy. Then you say, then why to read also? By reading, we can understand that we cannot understand anything. Isn't it? By studying Bhagavad Gita, we can really understand that we have very little brains. Even Arjuna has declared that it is not so easy to understand Krishna. So by studying Bhagavad Gita, we can understand our ignorance. How ignorant I am to think that I can understand Krishna. It is not so easy to understand Krishna. One has to wait for the mercy of Krishna to flow, to make us understand Krishna. Okay, Kanchan Mishra Mataji, Read verse and
हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। स्वयं एवात्मनात्मानं वेत्थ त्वं पुरुषोत्तमं भूतभावन भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते।
Bhuta Bhavana, full na it is. Bhavana, not Bhavan.
भूतभावन भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते। Indeed, translation, indeed you alone know yourself by your own internal potency, O Supreme Person, origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, Lord of the universe. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Lord Krishna can be known by persons who are in a relationship with him through the discharge of devotional service, like Arjuna and his followers. Persons of demonic or atheistic mentality cannot know Krishna. Mental speculation that leads one away from the Supreme Lord is a serious sin, and one who does not know Krishna should not try to comment on Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is the statement of Krishna, and since it is the science of Krishna, it should be understood from Krishna as Arjuna understood it. It should not be received from atheistic person. As stated in Srimad Bhagavad 1.2.11. Vadanti tatvat vavidistatvam.
Wait. Vadanti tattva vidas tattam yajnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmeti Bhagavan iti shabdate. Krishna is known in three features: Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. Vadanti tattva vidas. Tattva vidas means one who knows the truth. Tattvam yajnanam advayam. What the truth? What is the truth? Krishna is advayam. Krishna cannot be split even for a fraction of a second. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan iti shabdate. Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagavan. These are the three features. To know this, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavanman Prapatete Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samatmasu Durlabha. Vasatiti Sarvatraha Vasudeva. Vishuddha Sattvam Vasudeva Shabditam Bhagavan. Vasatiti Sarvatra Vasudeva Brahman. Sarvamiti Vasati Vasudeva, that is Paramatma. To know these three aspects, Bahunam Janmanamante. It takes thousands and thousands of births to know that Krishna is person. The same person is localized in everyone's heart as Paramatma. The same person, Lord, is all pervasive. He is there everywhere. He is all pervasive. There was a question yesterday asked by, what is Prabhuji's name? Anupama? Your Prabhuji's name?
Dayasagar.
Dayasagar. So Dayasagar Prabhu had asked me a question. Let him join, then I'll answer. Answer him again. I'll just say, Lord has 6 qualities in full, right? Why Lord is all knowledgeable is not mentioned. No, what was his question? I have to search. Very nice question he asked. 1 minute, I'll just take this. Dayasagar. Yeah. Yeah, why is omnipresence not mentioned in 6 opulences? Omnipresence is present everywhere, no? Why that is not mentioned? Or how is it not mentioned? He's omnipresent. It is mentioned by saying that he's all knowledgeable. We have 6 opulences. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasya shriya jnana vairagyascheva shannam bhaga iti mana. He is Aishwaryasya. That means he has all opulences. Viryasya, he is all powerful. Yashasah, he is all famous. Shriya, he is very beautiful. Jnana, he is all knowledgeable. And he is all renounced. So his omnipresence can be understood by this word, all knowledge. Because he is present in everyone's heart, he is present in each and every atom, molecule, everything. That is why he knows everything. Simple. Omnipresence can be understood by this quality, that he is all knowledgeable. Omnipresence can also be understood by this word, he is all powerful. To create anything, to destroy something, to maintain something, naturally you require a lot of power. You require a lot of strength to create. Even to make one chapati, we require strength. If we don't have strength, we cannot even make one chapati. Now Krishna is making the whole, Krishna is creating everything, is destroying everything. Just imagine, even to destroy something, we require power. So everything. So, and also to create, your presence is required. To destroy also, your presence is required. To maintain also, your presence is required. That is how his omnipresence. He is all knowledgeable. That is how his omnipresence. He is creating everything. By that also we can understand that he is omnipresence. For that also knowledge is required. So in this way, Krishna is all. Vadanti tattvavedas tattvamishjnanamadvayam brahmeti paramatmiti bhagavan iti shabd. So a common man or even a liberated man who has realized impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma may not understand Krishna's personality. It's not so easy. Jnani yogis also cannot understand. That is given. Such men therefore may endeavor to understand Lord from the verses of Bhagavad Gita which are being spoken by the person Krishna. So how we will try to understand Krishna? By reading about Krishna. By reading his words. Then only we can understand about him. Little bit at least we can come to know that we cannot understand. It requires Krishna's mercy to understand him. At least we can understand that much. But sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagavan, or they accept his authority. Sometimes happens also. Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottama. Arjuna addresses him as Purushottama. Read from here. Yet one still may not understand. Read from here, Krishna, Kanchan Mishra. Read from here.
The supreme truth is realized in three
Read
aspects.
from here. Read from there. Yet one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities.
Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottama, the supreme person. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottama. Yet one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Bhuta Bhavana. And if one comes to know him as the father of all the living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he is addressed here as Bhutesha, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of all the demigods. Therefore, he is addressed herein as Devadeva, the worshipful god of all demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful god of all demigods, one may not know that he is the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore, he is addressed as Jagatpati. Thus, the truth about Krishna is established in this verse by the realization of Arjuna, and we should follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna as he is. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Now Arjuna says, Vaktum arhasi hasheshena divyahyatma vibhutayah yabhir imam stvam Imam svam vyapya tishtasi. Today this light is little insufficient. Vaktum arhasya sheshena divyayatma vibhutayah yabhir vibhutibhir loka iman stvam vyapya tishtasi. Vaktum arhasi asheshena divyayatma vibhutayah. So now Arjuna says, tell me, you tell me what he wants to listen. You tell me about your divine opulences. In detail, Asheshena means in detail. Divyaha, divine. Vibhutaya. You tell me in detail about Atma Vibhutaya, about your own opulences. Because of these opulences, Yabhi Vibhutibhi, Lokan Iman Tvam Vyapya Tishtasi. Tishtasi means you are remaining or you are pervading. Tishtasi, pervading, Vyapya Tishtasi. You are pervading, you are there everywhere. By your opulences, you are present in all the planets. So, I want to know in detail about your divine opulences. Now just see, Arjuna, he was asked to fight, isn't it? In between the two armies. Krishna is telling fight. Before that, Arjuna says, please show me all your divine opulences. I want to see. That is why 11th chapter will come. What is 11th chapter? The universal form. After seeing universal form, Arjuna says, enough, I don't want to see. I just want to see this beautiful, wonderful form. Till the time he is eager to see. He says, I want to know your opulences. I want to, please show me your opulences. And that too in detail. Okay, Kamakshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Vaktum harrasi aseshena devyagiyatma vibhudayah yabir vibhudibir lohan imastikam vyapya tistasi. Translation. Please tell me in details of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. Purport. In this verse, it appears that Arjuna is already satisfied with his understanding grace. Arjuna has personal experience, intelligence, and knowledge at whatever else a person may have through all these agencies. And he has understood Krishna to be the supreme personality of Godhead. For him, there is no doubt, yet he is asking Krishna to explain his all-pervading nature. People in general and the impersonalists in particular concern themselves mainly with the all-pervading nature of Supreme. So Arjuna is asking Krishna how he exists in his all-pervading aspect through his different energies. One should know that this is being asked by Arjuna on behalf of the common people. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So here Arjuna says Swarupa. Mute your unmute. So here Arjuna says Swarupa is very difficult to understand. So I am curious, but I want to know about your vibhutis. So only you can explain in detail about your extraordinary Divya vibhutis. Divya also means extraordinary vibhutis, extraordinary opulences. It's not so easy to understand with our tiny brain. So with my intelligence, I'm not able to understand. So Krishna, you please explain to me. Katham vidyamaham yogins tvam sada parichintayan keshu cha bhaveshu chintayosi bhagavan maya. Katham vidyamaham yogins tvam sada parichintayan keshu cha bhaveshu chintayosi bhagavan maya. Katham, how? Now there what he said, I want to know. Now what is he saying? How much tolerance Krishna has, isn't it? Right from the beginning, Arjuna has so many doubts. Now again, Katham Vidya Aham Sanke. How am I going to know you, O Krishna? Tvam Sada Parichintayan. How should I think about you, Krishna? Now see what all the questions he's asking. Katham Vidyam. How shall I know you? How should I think about you? Keshu Keshu cha bhaveshu. In what all forms I should think about you? Chintaya. How should I remember you? Now first is what? How should I constantly think about you? Sada parichintayan. How should I constantly think about you? How am I going to know you? Vidya aham. How am I going to know you? How am I going to constantly think about you? And in what all forms should I think about you? So many questions. Constantly, how should I think about you? That is the first question. How should I know you? And then, what all different forms I should meditate upon you? Keshu Keshu, Chabhaveshu. So here, Parichintayan. How should I constantly remember you? Sada Parichintayan. Now, you are so unlimited. You have so all wonderful, auspicious qualities. But how am I going to know this? You should reveal your qualities, then only I can know. How can I know your beautiful qualities? And then, Keshu Cheshu Bhaveshu, in which all objects you reveal yourself. That means in what all forms I can see you. How should I meditate upon you? Seeing you means how should I meditate upon you? Which form should I meditate? So I want to know these two things. How should I constantly remember you? Which form should I meditate upon you? You have multifarious forms. In which form you reveal yourself? So these are the two important questions. That is why I should know your vibhuti, your opulence. Now, what it has to do with opulence, just see. How should I constantly remember you? Krishna can easily say, chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra and be happy. How should I worship you? Which form? Krishna can say two-bended form. Answer is very simple. If the same question is asked to Srila Prabhupada, what Srila Prabhupada will say? Chant and be happy and meditate upon Shyam Sundar Krishna. Finished. The answer is over. But see, Krishna is also dragging. The more Arjuna is asking question, Krishna is also dragging. So he's asking two basic questions. How should I constantly remember you? In which all forms you reveal? That means Krishna is not restricting himself to a particular form. That is why even in Shikshashtakam second verse, what is said in second verse Shikshashtakam? What is said? Who can tell? Shikshashtakam second verse.
नामनाकारी बहुधा निज सर्व शक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमित
First. Namnam akari bahuda nija sarva shakti. There are many forms for Krishna. And in every form, Krishna has invested his own power. Namnam akari bahuda nija sarva shakti tatrarpita niyamita smaranena kalaha. So for remembering Lord, it does not require some murta. Every murta is beautiful. Every time is beautiful. So Krishna has invested his own power in every form. So one should not differentiate the forms of Krishna. Krishna says, I am present in everything. So when we see a particular devata, when we worship a particular devata, we should see him in connection with Krishna. When we are seeing something movable, immovable, we should find Krishna in everything. Krishna is there in every situation. Whatever situation Krishna is giving, Krishna knows it. Krishna is a person. He is the one who is giving us particular situations. And in every situation, Krishna's mercy is, Krishna is making us remember him. That is more important. Okay. Hansrupi Prabhu. Acha, 1 minute. Vandana Mataji wants to read. I think she likes this verse very, very much. Read.
Mataji, since yesterday I'm trying to try it again, like, the pronunciation.
Okay.
Katham vidyapahim yogim tvam sada parichintayan keshu keshu che bhaveshu chintayosi bhagavan maya.
2 mistakes only. Katham vidyamaham.
Katham vidyamaham.
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 Katham vidyamaham.
And then last, Bhagavan Maya.
Bhagavan Maya.
Okay. Read.
O Krishna, O Supreme Mystic, how shall I constantly think of you and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered? O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. As it is stated in the previous chapters, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is covered by his Yoga Maya. Only surrendered soul and devotees can see him. Now Arjuna is convinced that his friend Krishna is a Supreme Godhead. But he wants to know the general process by which all-pervading Lord can be understood by the common man. Common men, including the demons and the atheists, cannot know Krishna because he is guarded by his Yoga Maya energy. Again, these questions were asked by Arjuna for their benefit. The superior devotee is concerned not only for his own understanding, but for the understanding of all mankind. So Arjuna, out of his mercy, because he is a Vaishnava, a devotee, is opening for common man the understanding of all pervasiveness of Supreme Lord. He addressed Krishna specifically as Yogin, because Sri Krishna is the master of the Yoga Maya energy, by which he is covered and uncovered to the common man. The common man who has no love for Krishna cannot always think of Krishna. Therefore, he has to think materially. Arjuna is considering the mode of thinking of the materialistic person of this world. The words Keshu Keshu cha Bhaveshu refers to material nature. The word Bhava means physical things. Because materialistic cannot understand Krishna spiritually, they are advised to concentrate the mind on physical things and try to see how Krishna is manifested by physical representation. Hare Krishna.
So see the powerful statement. Keshu Keshu cha Bhaveshu. How should I see you in the material things? Because my mind is so material. How should I see you in matter? Like when I drink water, I should remember him. Krishna says, I am the taste in water. Because my consciousness is in matter. And I am in the material world. Naturally, I am surrounded by material objects. Somebody told me, Mataji, you are telling me to chant, let Krishna come and tell me. Krishna comes and stands before you, can you recognize him? We consider Krishna to be ordinary. And because our consciousness is so much in matter, we cannot go beyond that. What I see with my eyes, buildings, TV, someone. How am I going to know Krishna with my sense objects, with my senses? Because the sense objects in which I am living, which I am surrounded, how am I going to see Krishna in that? Like people go and worship banyan tree. How to see Krishna in banyan tree, or how to understand that? Krishna says, I am only that banyan tree. Over. So person, if he is worshipping banyan tree, at least if he understands Krishna is that banyan tree, that is enough for him to purify. Now, if I'm drinking water, At least if I understand the taste in water is Krishna, which is quenching our thirst, even that thing is enough to make us Krishna conscious. It's not so easy to become Krishna conscious. It's not so easy. We may say, I'm chanting, I have deities, I worship the deity, everything fine. But still, Krishna says, because we are conditioned in this matter, in this material world, our senses are always dealing with the sense objects. To see Krishna in each and everything, Stavara Jangam Dekhi Na Dekhe Tara Murti, Sarvatra Hoy Nija Ishtadeva Sfurti. Sfurti means opulence. Nija Ishtadeva, that is Krishna himself. To see Krishna in each and every object requires a lot of training process. So what is Bhakti Shastri? It is a training for the eyes, the senses, to see Krishna in each and everything, so that Krishna is not lost even for a fraction of a second. So what devotees do, they are very expert. How we are going to see Krishna in each and everything? Okay, wherever I have walls, I'll just put Krishna's photo. That is enough for me. So wherever I go, I'll just see Krishna. So in my house, every wall has Krishna's photo, isn't it? And if you see my TP, that is also having Krishna. Everything has Krishna. Everything is Krishna. But then when we deal with someone, we don't deal properly. Because we are not seeing Krishna. Oh, he's a Nabhakta. He's not a devotee. So that is where what happens? We only see Krishna in the Vigraha, but we don't want to see the opulence of Krishna, which is actually surrounding us. That is why when there is a lack of dealing of the devotee with others, lack of dealing with anything surrounded, that makes that person only a Kanishta Bhakta. Kanishta Bhakta only tries to see Krishna in the Vigraha. Apart from that, he is not able to see the connection of everything with Krishna. So, Kanishta Bhaktas cannot even appreciate the forms of Krishna. Kanishta Bhaktas cannot even appreciate that the demigods are connected with Krishna. There is no fault in worshipping demigod, provided one should understand demigods belong to Krishna. But a Kanishta Bhakta sees, oh, they are all demigod worshippers, not Shuddha Bhaktas. That means what he has seen, Bheda. The moment the Bheda is seen, that Bheda leads to Maya. So that is why Uttamadhikari Bhakta. What is Uttamadhikari Bhakta? He is so expert in the Shastras that he can see everything in connection with Krishna. What Srila Prabhupada says? Prabhupada says to understand Krishna, first understand matter properly. Materialists cannot understand spirituality. Then you say, I am not materialist person. I am a Pakka devotee. So the moment we think like this also, it is also again a sense of pride. What Krishna says, concentrate the mind on physical things. If suppose a person is not able to appreciate the form of Krishna, not serving the form of Krishna, then at least concentrate and see how Krishna is manifesting himself by these physical manifestations. So a person is not able to worship Krishna, serve Krishna by making bhogas for Krishna, doing marjan of the temple. At least it is advised that in the matter, try to see Krishna's opulence. Then, Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuya kathaya truptirhi shunvato nasti me mrutam. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuya kathaya truptirhi shunvato nasti me mrutam. Vistarenatmano, atmana, about yourself. Vistarena. विस्तार से बोलिए. That means what? Speak in detail. Yogam vibhutim. I want to know in detail about your mystic power. I want to know about your vibhuti, about your opulences, about your mystic power. O Janardana, you are the killer of all that is. Bhuya kataya truptirhi. Please speak again. Krishna will think, what is this? Every time I'm speaking, he's trying to pass his time or what? He doesn't want to fight. Now he's saying, but Krishna is so tolerant. Again, Krishna is speaking. Krishna is not telling now, enough, now first do the work and then I'll speak. No, Krishna is again explaining. Bhuya kataya truptirhi. Again, please speak again. Shurvato nasti me amrutam. Me amrutam. There is no amruta like this. I want to know more and more about you. I just want to hear. There is no amruta than these wonderful words of yours. That is why Bhagavad Gita is considered to be amrutam mahat. Sarvopanishado gao dukkha gopala nandana partho vatsat sudhir bhokta duktam Gita. What? Duktam Gita amrutam mahat. You were asked to learn this verse or not? In the first unit. No? What is this? This is the most important verse from introduction. This verse starts the Bhagavad Gita. This is most important verse. Note down this verse in introduction. Sarvo Upanishado Gao. If all the Upanishad is compared to a cow, Sarvo Upanishado Gao. Dogdha Gopala Nandana. Who is milking that cow? Krishna is milking that cow. Dogdha Gopala Nandana. Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Partha is compared to Vatsa. The Vatsa means calf which drinks the first milk. Here also Partha is drinking this first milk. Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta. Then remaining milk is given to all of us who are all interested in studying Bhakti Shastri. So Krishna says, Sudhir Bhokta. Duktham Gita Amrutam Mahat. That is why Bhagavad Gita is compared to Duktham, milk. And how is this milk? Amrutam. It is a nectar. Introduction, last page. This verse is very important. Gita Mahatmaya. This verse is given by Shripad Adi Shankaracharya. Because in those times, there were puffed up scholars who were only considering the axioms of Upanishads to be true. Whatever Upanishad says, we only accept that as truth. So they were having this type of mentality that only Upanishad, we only accept Upanishad. And what is Upanishad? It is the fourth part of the Veda. Vedas are divided into 4 sections: Brahmanakas, Aranyakas, Samhitas, Upanishad. Brahmanakas speak about city life. Aranyakas speak about forest life. Samhitas speak about how to worship various devatas. Upanishad speaks about how to sit beside the spiritual master and learn the truth. So, in Vedas, there are many chapters. Every chapter has these 4 sections. We are not talking about the types of Vedas. There are 4 types of Vedas. But if you see, there are chapters in the Vedas. If you take all the 4 Vedas together, there are chapters. These chapters has 4 sections: Brahmanakas, Aranyakas, Samhitas, and Upanishad. City life, or you can say society, village also can come. City means not just metropolitan city. City means village also, where people come together, perform sacrifices, grahastas coming together, performing sacrifices. And after some time, what happens? They take vanaprastha sannyasa. Before that, what happens? They go to Gurukul. So you need aranyakas, you need forests, a secluded place where the brahmacharis or brahmachari ashram, vanaprastha ashram, sannyas ashram can be followed. What is the work of brahmachari? To study, or Gurukul, what is the work? To study the types of worship, that is known as samhitas, the rules and regulations required to worship a particular devata. It all comes in samhitas, reciting the verses, memorizing the verses. And then there is a section known as Upanishad. Just sit beside a spiritual master and read and learn the absolute truth. So if you see city life, forest life, worshipping devatas, it's not much spiritual in nature. But Upanishad is spiritual in nature. So the so-called Gyanis, they were interested in only Upanishad. So Vedavyasa, to make this Upanishad understandable or to make it very easy, wrote Puranas, 18 Puranas. He wrote 18 Puranas. Generally, it is considered that Puranas are for less intelligent people, because there is a way to explain the truth, either by giving true example or by a created example. Vedavyasa is trying to teach Upanishad. From the Puranas, 2 dynasties are taken. That is Moon dynasty, Sun dynasty. For Sun dynasty, Vedavyasa gave Ramayana. For Moon dynasty, gave Mahabharata. That became Itihasas, histories, Itihasa. So these 2 Itihasas were given. Now, these so-called scholars of the Upanishad scholars, they thought Puranas, Itihasas are for low category. Striyo, Vaishya, Shudra, for all these people. They started rejecting these. Now, Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. This much you know, na? Which parva it comes? Which parva? Bhishma parva. Which chapter? 25 to 42. 18 chapters are there. In the Bhishma parva, 25 to 42, if you open Mahabharata, there are parvas. Like how in Ramayana you have kandas, like that you have parvas. So in that parva, there is one parva which is known as Bhishma parva. In the Bhishma parva, 25th chapter to 42nd chapter, you will find Bhagavad Gita. Immediately, Adi Shankaracharya gave this verse, Sarvo Upanishado Gao. You Upanishad scholars, first understand, if all the Upanishad is compared to a cow, then Gopalanandanaha, Dugdam Gopalanandanaha. Who is milking? Krishna is milking. Who is the first recipient? Partha. Remaining given to Sudhira Bhokta. Dugdam Gita Amritam Mahadev. So your words are actually Amrita. Amritam means nobody will die. So what does Bhagavad Gita teach? That we are all immortal. Soul never dies. Body also never, matter never dies. What dies is the body or the form taken by the matter. There are 5 subject matters in Bhagavad Gita. Know this? You all know this?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
I want to know the answer from Ashok. Anupama.
Ishvara, Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, last year you studied
Ishvara.
that is why. Wait. Whoever I have been studying from last year would answer. Vandana Mataji, tell me what are the 5 subject matters of Bhagavad Gita?
Soul, body.
Okay, write down. Soul, God, matter, time,
Kala.
karma.
Kala.
Soul, God, matter, time, that is kala, karma. And when you say matter means prakriti, Atma, Bhagavan, then you have Padartha or Prakriti, Padartha. Actually, it is Padartha, not even Prakriti. Padartha, Kala, Karma. Out of these five, four are eternal. Only one is changeable, that is Karma. Even time is eternal. Matter is eternal. Our body is made up of 24 elements. They are all eternal. This matter takes a beautiful form, sometimes like a flower, sometimes like a human, sometimes like a peacock. So, but the matter remains as it is. So, matter is eternal. God is eternal. Soul is eternal. Only karma can be changed. Amritam. So, Nasti Amritam. There is no truth beyond this. Your words are actually nectar, Krishna says. Here, Arjuna says. Hansrupi Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuya kathaya triptirhi shunavato nasti memritam. O Janardhan, again please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satisfied in hearing about you, for the more I hear, more I want to taste the nectar of your words. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A similar statement was made to Suta Goswami by the rishis of Naimisaranya, headed by Shaunaka. The statement is, Vayam tu na vrit payama uttama sloka vikrame.
Payama uttam shlok.
What happened?
Yat shavatam charanavratam rasam janam sadhu sadhu pade pade. One can never be satisfied even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into transcendental relationship with Krishna relish at every step the descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.19. Thus, Arjuna is interested in hearing about Krishna and specifically how he remains as all-pervading Supreme Lord. Now, as far as Amritam nectar is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar, and this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, in that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. It is for the reason only that the history of the whole universe is replete with reference to the pastime of the incarnations of Godhead. The Puranas are the history of bygone ages that relate the pastimes of various incarnations of the Lord. In this way, the reading matter remains forever fresh despite repeated reading. Hare Krishna.
So Parikshit Maharaj says, Vayam na vitrupyam uttama shloka vikrame shrotam rasagyanam svadu svadu pade pade. I am not at all thirsty. There Goswami says, you are telling me to speak about Lord, I am continuously speaking, but you may be thirsty, you may be hungry also. Vayam na vitrupyam uttama shloka vikrame. You are telling about Krishna, his activities. Vikrame means his adventurous activities. That itself is enough to satisfy my hunger and thirst. Swadu swadu pade pade. At every step I am able to relish. Swadu swadu means able to relish. That is why I am not at all tired of hearing about you, O Krishna. So that is why Amritam. Amritam also refers to one is never tired of hearing about Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Hantate Katayishyami Divyayatma Vibhutayah Pradhanyatah Kuru Shrestha Nastayanto Vistarasya Cha Vistarasya Ye Vistarasya Me Shri Bhagavan Uvacha हन्तते कथयिष्यामि दिव्याह्यात्मविभूतयः प्राधान्यत कुरु श्रेष्ठ नास्त्यन्तो विस्तरस्य मे. When aha comes in between, you should not pronounce that. Pradhanyata kuru shreshtha. Don't say pradhanyatah. There yaha should not come. Aha comes means you are stopping there. Pradhanyatha kuru shreshtha nastyanto vistarasya me. So Krishna says, Hantate kathaishyami. Yes, yes, Hanta. Hanta means yes. Isn't it? Yes, I will tell you. Yes, te kathaishyami. I am going to speak to you. What I am going to speak? Divya, divine. Atma vibhutayah. I am going to speak about a divine opulences. The word opulences come, immediately we have an allergy to this word, isn't it? No, we don't want opulences. We want to know about sweetness. I had gone one for this yatra. One of the devotees said, I don't want to go to Vaikuntha. I want to go to Golokta. I said, see, this word opulences means you should not become allergic to that. Opulences are there. Krishna has all the opulences. If a person doesn't know Krishna's opulences, he can never understand even sweetness of Krishna. He can never appreciate sweetness of Krishna. Actually, we can only appreciate. We can never enter sweetness of Krishna. To enter into sweetness of Krishna, one has to be born in the womb of a gopi. That means one has to enter the family of Krishna. It's not so easy to become a family member of Krishna. But we can appreciate the family members' activity with Krishna. For that, we have to know the opulences. Oh, such great person is lifting the chappal of Nanda Baba. Then only we can appreciate, or we can never understand, oh, he's a supreme person. We cannot understand. Like Krishna is sitting with all the friends and taking prasadam. We can understand this beautiful dealings of the Gopas with Krishna, Krishna with the Gopas. All these dealings we can understand only when we appreciate the opulence of Krishna. So Krishna says, I am going to speak to you about my Divya Atma Vibhutaya, about my divine opulences. Pradhanyataha. They are the principles, Krishna says. One has to know it. They are very prominent. Kuru Shrestha, oh best of the Kurus. Na asti antah vistarayasya me. See, my opulences are unlimited. Na asti antah, there is no limit. But still, to the extent I'm going to speak, they are prominent. I will speak to the extent whatever I can. But they are all unlimited opulences. Whatever is prominent, pradhanyataha. Pradhanyata means principal, prominent opulences. I'm going to speak about them. So again, we should not think the opulences which Krishna has spoken, that is all in all. No. They are few of them. They are just few of them. Krishna says, you cannot even count my opulences. So Krishna's opulences are unlimited. Just imagine a body of an ant. Is it not Krishna's opulence? How does the ant know there is a sweet lying in your kitchen? Just put sugar, so many ants come. How they come to that? Who has given them this power of sensing out there is a sugar in your kitchen? We should actually think about all these things. How does they know? You were cooking somewhere. The ant is somewhere there. How does it know? Who is giving them this intelligence? That is power of Krishna. It is not so easy. We just take some filth and we try to kill all the ants. But the sages, they will see and they will appreciate, wow, what a intelligence, super intelligence. And that super intelligence is vibhuti of Krishna. Now Krishna is going to say, whatever super intelligence we are
You have gone mute, Mataji.
I intentionally went in mute. Somebody had come. So, so whatever super is from up, it sees a worm. Once I was sitting in the car, there's a traffic jam, and I saw a bird coming exactly, taking a worm and going. No, it is flying so on the top of the sky, and from there it sees. From where it gets such subtraction? How does it know there is a worm there in the forest? Just see, this is all splendor of Krishna. Such type of intelligence, even to a creature, Krishna is giving. What to speak about human intelligence then? So sometimes we take pride, it is me who has done so many things. No, it is super intelligence of Krishna. Super intelligence of Krishna. So opulence of Krishna is there, unlimited opulence of Krishna. Now there are planets going in the respective orbits, galaxies. So many things are there. What is all these things? What are all these things? They are all opulence of Krishna only. So Krishna is not just restricted with our limited intelligence. Krishna says, I am just going to speak to you about some few of the principal opulences, but my opulences are unlimited, Krishna says. Vaishnava Gaur Prabhu, read the verse and read the.
Hare Krishna. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Antate Kathyashyami Divya Maetam Vibhuteya Dhanyat Pradhanyatah Purushrestha Nasatyanto Vistarasya Me. The Supreme Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my
One minute. You did a lot of mistake in this. Repeat after me. Hantate kathayishyami.
Hantate Kathyashyami.
Kathayishyami.
Kathyashyami.
Not katha.
Kathyashyami.
Divyayatma vibhutayah.
Divyayatma Vibhutaya.
Vibhutayah.
Vibhutaya.
Tayah.
Taya.
Pradhanyatha Guru Shrestha.
Pradhanyatha Purushrestha.
Nastyanto
Nastyanto
Vistarasya me.
Vistrasya Me.
Vistarasya me.
Vistrasya Me. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is not possible to comprehend the greatness of Krishna and his opulences. The senses of the individual soul are limited and do not permit him to understand the totality of Krishna's affairs. Still, the devotees try to understand Krishna, but not on the principle that they will be able to understand Krishna fully at any specific time or in any state of life. Rather, the very topics of Krishna are so relishable that they appear to the devotees as nectar. Thus, the devotees enjoy them. In discussing Krishna's opulences and his diverse energies, the pure devotees take transcendental pleasure. Therefore, they want to hear and discuss them. Krishna knows that living entities do not understand the extent of his opulences. He therefore agrees to state only the principal manifestations of his different energies. The word pradhanyata, principle, is very important because we can understand only a few of the principal details of the Supreme Lord, for his features are unlimited. It is not possible to understand them all. And vibhuti, as used in this verse, refers to the opulences by which he controls the whole manifestation. In the Amar Kosha dictionary, it is stated that vibhuti indicates an exceptional opulence. And the impersonalist or panthist cannot understand the exceptional opulences of the Supreme Lord, nor the manifestations of his divine energies. Both in the material world and in the spiritual world, his energies are distributed in every variety of manifestation. Now, Krishna is describing what can be directly perceived by the common man. Thus, part of his variegated energy is described in this way. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Now Krishna says, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayastitah Aham Adishcha Madhyam Bhutaramanta Evacha Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhutashayastitah Aham Adishcha Madhyam cha Bhutanamanta evacha. Aham Atma. I am the super soul, Krishna says. I am Paramatma. Again, we are allergic to these things. We should not be allergic. If some yogi is there, they are interested in Paramatma, respect them. Respect. At least is trying to search Paramatma. Lord is Paramatma who is sitting in everyone's heart. That is why one should respect everyone. That is why it is said, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavihastini, Shuri Chaiva Shapakecha, Panditaha Samadarshina. How is a Pandita? He is Samadarshi. What is he seeing in everyone? Paramatma. Paramatma is seated in everyone's heart. Krishna says, I am that Paramatma. Aham Atma. O Gudakesha, O Arjuna. Sarvabhuta Ashayah Stitaha. I am seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Aham Adi. I am the origin. Aham Madhyam. I am that middle. And then Krishna says, I am Antaha. I am the end of all beings. I am the beginning, I am the middle, I am the end of all beginnings. Now Krishna is addressing Arjuna as Gudakesha. In the second chapter also, in the first chapter also you would have found this word, Gudakesha. Gudaka Esha. One who has conquered sleep. One who has conquered his ignorance. That person is Gudakesha. So Krishna says, oh Gudakesha, you have anyhow conquered sleep. So you are qualified. Because you have conquered ignorance, you are qualified to contemplate. Contemplate on what? On the subject which I am going to speak. That is my vibhutis. That means to understand vibhuti of Krishna, the opulence of Krishna, one should conquer his ignorance. How can we conquer our ignorance? By chanting the holy name. The more we chant, the anarthas which are there in our heart, that will be destroyed. When the anarthas are destroyed, then we can understand the opulence of Krishna. Then we can understand Paramatma who is seated in our heart. There is a curtain between Atma and Paramatma. Maya Javanika Channam. Who tells this verse? Kunti Maharani says, Maya Javanika Channam Agnya Dokshajam Avyayam. That is why a person is not able to understand Paramatma who is seated in his heart, just because he is trying to search Krishna everywhere, but there is Krishna within the heart. So we are not able to understand the voice of Krishna just because there is a curtain, and this curtain is all our dirty things which are situated in our heart. By chanting the holy name, we can understand, yes, the same Krishna is seated very near to us. Tadure Tvadantike, Ishopanishad speaks about it. He is far, he is near also. He is situated in the heart also, he is situated in the Vigraha also. So in this way, and he is situated in everyone's body. That's why Krishna says, to understand this, one has to be pure. One has to come out of his ignorance. O Kudakesha, you have conquered ignorance. That is why you can understand these topics. Now, Paramatma. Paramatma is in charge of creation, maintenance, destruction. Sarva Bhutasya Tisthitaha. He is present in every element. Yes. Brahman. He is present as Brahman in every element. Sarva Bhuta also refers to Prakriti. He is present in all Prakriti. Sarva Bhuta Sthitaha. He is present in the Prakriti. And then Krishna says he is Antaryami. Again, Krishna is speaking about the three features. When he says I, that means Bhagavan. When he says Sarva Atmaha, Aham Atma, Sarva Bhutasya Sthitaha, two meanings. Sarva Bhutasya Sthitaha, present in everyone's heart as Paramatma. Sarva Bhutasya Sthitaha, in every matter as Brahman. That means he is Antaryami for Prakriti also. Even for Jada Brahman, Krishna is a knower, Antarami. He is present in every element, in every matter, in every element. That is why Bhutasya, Sarva Bhutasya Sthitaha has been said. Then Krishna says, I am the beginning, I am the middle, and I am the Antaha. I alone is the cause of, what is it, middle? What is the meaning of I am Adi, Madhyam, Anta? I am the cause of creation, maintenance, destruction. Creation is Adi, maintenance is Madhyam, and Anta is destruction. So Krishna says, I am the cause of Adi, that is creation, Madhyam, maintenance, Antaha, destruction. So in this way, who is going to read? Krishna Dharma Prabhu is there. Okay, Krishna Priya Mataji read. Kalyani.
And Mataji, today I'm facing little low bandwidth.
Kalyani Mohini Mataji read. और जनार्दन
हरे कृष्ण माता जी।
हाँ पढ़िए।
अहम आत्मा गुणाकेश सर्वभूताश स्थितः अहम आदिश च मध्यम च भूतानाम अंत एव च। I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated at the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this verse, Arjuna is addressed as Godakesha, which means one who has conquered the darkness of sleep. For those who are sleeping in the darkness of ignorance, it is not possible to understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests himself in various ways in the material and spiritual worlds. Thus, this address by Krishna to Arjuna is significant. Because Arjuna is above such darkness, the personality of Godhead agrees to describe his various opulences. Krishna first informs Arjuna that he is the soul of the entire cosmic manifestation by dint of his primary expansion. Before the material creation, the Supreme Lord, by his plenary expansion, accepts the Purusha incarnation, and from him everything begins. Therefore, he is Atma, the soul of Mahat Tattva, the universal elements. The total material energy is not the cause of the creation. Actually, the Mahavishnu enters into the Mahat Tattva, the total material energy. He is the soul. When Mahavishnu enters into the manifested universes, he again manifests himself as the super soul in each and every entity. We have experienced that the personal body of the living entity exists due to the presence of the spiritual spark. Without the existence of the spiritual spark, the body cannot develop. Similarly, the material manifestation cannot develop unless the Supreme Soul Krishna enters. As stated in the Subala Upanishad, Prakriti Adi Sarva Bhutantar Yami Sarva Sheshi Cha Narayana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as the Super Soul in all manifested universes. The three Purusha avatars are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are also described in Satvata Tantra. Vishnu Stutrini Rupani Purusakhyani Atho Viduha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead manifests three features of Karanodhakya
Karanadakshayi Vishnu,
Karanadhakshay Vishnu, Garbhodhakshay Vishnu, and Shirodhakshay Vishnu. In this material manifestation, the Mahavishnu or Karanodhakshay Vishnu is described in the Brahma Samhita. यह
कारणार्णवये जले भजति स्म योगः निद्राम्
यह करणार्णव जल भजति स्म योग निद्राम. The Supreme Lord, Krishna, the cause of all causes, lies down in the cosmic ocean of Mahavishnu. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beginning of this universe, the maintainer of the universal manifestations, and the end of all energy.
Okay. Adityanam aham Vishnu Jyotisam Raviram Shuman Mariche Marutamasmi Nakshatranam aham Shashi. Adityanam aham Vishnu Jyotisham Raviram Shuman Marichir Marutamasmi Nakshatranam aham Shashi. Now Krishna says of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. I am the light, Jyotisam. I am the radiant light, radiant sun. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Amshuman means radiant. Marichi Marutam. Of the Maruts, I am the Marichi. Among the stars, I am the moon. So Krishna says, among the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Among the radiant luminaries, I am the sun. I am among the Maruts, I am the Marichi. Among the Nakshatras, I am the moon. So Krishna is now giving identification. I am this, I am that, how to come. Manocha Prabhu, read.
Adityanam aham Vishnu Jyotisam Raviram.
Lot of disturbance come, Prabhuji, from your side. Haribol, Haribol. You don't read, Prabhu. You don't read. Lot of disturbance come from your house. Okay, Chalardhan Gadi Prabhu, read.
Adityanamaham Vishnur Jyotisham Raviram Sluman Marichir Marichir Marutamasmi Nakshatranam Shashi. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun. Of the Marutas, I am the Marichi. And among the stars, I am the moon. Purport by Srila
One minute,
Prabhupada. Srila
one minute, 1 minute. This Marut has been given in the story of Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 19th chapter. Indra entering Diti's womb, cutting her son into 49 parts. His 49 kinds of hair known as Maruts. All these things are there in the 6th canto, 19th chapter. In that, Krishna says, I am Marichi. And then among the Adityas, Krishna is Vamana. That also Krishna says Vishnu. Okay, read.
There are 12 Adityas, of which Krishna is the principal. Among all the luminaries shining in the sky, the sun is the chief, and in the Brahma Samhita, the sun is accepted as the glowing eye of the Supreme Lord. There are 50 varieties of wind blowing in space, and of these winds, the controlling deity Marichi represents Krishna. Among the stars, the moon is the most prominent at night, and thus the moon represents Krishna. It appears from this verse that the moon is one of the stars. Therefore, the stars that twinkle in the sky also reflect the light of the sun. The theory that there are many suns within the universe is not accepted by Vedic literature. The sun is one, and as by the reflection of the sun, the moon illuminates, so also do the stars. Since Bhagavad Gita indicates herein that the moon is the one of the stars, the twinkling stars are not suns, but are similar to the moon. Hare Krishna.
So last words now. Vedanam samavedosmi devanam asmi vasavaha indriyana manaschasmi bhutanam asmi chetana. Vedanam samavedosmi devanam asmi vasavaha indriyana manaschasmi bhutanam asmi chetana. Krishna says, of the Vedas, I am Samaved. Then Krishna says, I am Indra of the demigods. And Vasavha means I am Indra, heavenly king Indriyanam. Now among the Indriyanam, now here Indriyanam refers to the senses. Of the senses, I am the mind. And then Krishna says, I am the living force in all living beings. So Vedanam Samavedo. In the Vedas, I am the Samaveda. Devanam Asmi Vasava. Among the Devatas, I am the Indra, heavenly king. Indriyanam Manaschasmi. Among all the senses, I am the mind. Bhutanam Asmi Chetana. See, this Chetana, living force, is Krishna. Okay. Vishwambar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanotram. Vedana, Vedo, Mana, Smi, Vasava, Indriyana, Manasasmi, Bhutanam, Asmi, Chetana.
I request all of you to have earphones so that your voice is not distracted. Lot of sound comes, the voice is not clear. Keep earphones. Okay.
Of the Vedas, I am the Samved. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living, I am the living force, consciousness, purpose. The difference between matter and spirit is that matter is like living entity.
The voice is not coming proper. Voice is not coming proper. Keep the phone near you.
Of the Vedas, I am the Samved. Of the demigods, I am Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind.
and I am the living force, consciousness. The difference between in the matter and spirit is that the matter has no consciousness like the living entity. Therefore, this consciousness is supreme and eternal. Consciousness cannot be produced by a combination of matter.
Okay, you first you see that your phone voice is not at all coming proper. I am going to make only those those devotees whose voice is clear, the phone comes proper, only they can read from next time. Lot of sound comes and Manojha Prabhu reads. When you also read Vishwambar Prabhu, Sudha Mataji, so much of disturbance in your phone. So check your phone, check your earphones also. Keep your earphones. If you're keeping two mobiles on also, it's also distracting. Keep one mobile or place yourself in two different rooms. Keep your earphones. That will be more easy. Okay? From the next verse, we'll see tomorrow. Any doubts you can ask.
Yes, Mataji, Shloka 22, I have two questions. One, the Krishna said, of the senses, I am the mind. Above the mind is intelligence. Why doesn't he say, I am among the senses, I am intelligence? Why mind only? Mind is always distracting. Intelligence is controlling the mind. So why not intelligence?
What we have to do when Krishna says, I am mind, I am mind. Oh. Krishna is not referring to a material mind. When Krishna says, I am mind, mind is a place where thinking, willing, feeling happens. Why Ambarish Maharaj did not say, Savai Buddhi Krishna Padarvinde, Savai Mana Krishna Padarvinde. This mind, which is actually the wheel. Intelligence is the driver.
Doer, thinker, and prompting us to do is the mind only. Fine. Understood. Second is when he says of the living entities, I'm the living force. Living force means consciousness. Is the what now? Again, the same question what Krishna has said. It is the soul which is the driving force in the living entity. Soul is noun. Consciousness is adverb. So we are talking about the quality of the soul because consciousness comes from the soul only, no?
Krishna says, of the living beings, I am consciousness. What is the meaning? Actually, every living being has divine consciousness. The moment we forget this, that is the time our consciousness is in the matter. So what consciousness Krishna is speaking? That's spiritual consciousness. When Krishna says, he is not telling I am gutter. Understand? When Krishna says I am mind, Krishna is not speaking about our material mind. Krishna doesn't say I am gutter which is flowing. No. Of all the water I am Ganga, Krishna says. So with our contaminated mind, we were thinking many things. But when Krishna says, I am the Chetana, which Chetana? Do you think the Chetana which is of a drunkard? No. The Chetana means the spiritual consciousness. When it perverts, that becomes material consciousness.
Okay. Fine, thank you.
Any other question? Okay, stop here. Hare Krishna.